So what's your thoughts on mandating the vaccine? I mean, to be clear, modern medicine has done some amazing things in the world today. I mean, personally, from a personal standpoint, I would have lost my wife and my firstborn child. And I guess the other children that came after it as well. I mean, on a grander scale, polio, tetanus, the measles, and so much more have been essentially eradicated from the world today because of modern medicine and vaccines. So today, as organizations look to mandate the vaccine for their employees, is there anything that they should be concerned about? For one, this could lead to a potential increase in workers' compensation claims and also OSHA compliance recordable events. We're going to cover that today. In an April 30th article on the Human Resource Executive, the CEO and founder of healthjoy, Justin Holland, actually had this to say in the article. It's pretty clear that there is no scenario for most companies where employees are returning unvaccinated to the office in 2021. This is a conversation that HR leaders need to be having with their people right now. I mean, when you have large organizations making the mandates public like this, smaller businesses kind of follow suit. There's 26,000 employees in the Houston Methodist Hospital system. They've recently done so. Colorado University System, which includes University of Colorado, the University of Denver, Colorado State University, University of Northern Colorado, the Metropolitan State University of Denver. These are the largest group universities in actually the nation to actually mandate vaccinations. So what's keeping other universities and schools and also other healthcare providers to actually not follow suit? As Holland states again in the article here, I've spoken with dozens of other CEOs and leaders of organizations about returning to the office. Every single one will have a mandatory vaccination policy for those who want to be in the office. Pretty profound, right? I mean, every single employee, every CEO, again, it's, maybe just centralized to where he's talking to, the people he's talking to, but I feel like there is this big push that's going on with not just larger corporations, but smaller ones as well. According to a Willis Towers Watson survey, they actually looked at 446 different employers, and they found these two stats that I found quite intriguing. 10% of the employers are planning or considering requiring proof of vaccination as a condition of employment. So getting a job there. And also 23% are planning or considering requiring employees to get vaccinated for them to return to the work site. Okay, so there is an obvious push by employers to get their employees vaccinated and return them back to the office. But is that the right thing to do for your business? I honestly can't respond and give you advice for your individual business, but here is something to consider. Experts warn that under such mandates, injuries, illnesses reported by employees from the vaccine can actually lead to workers' compensation claims and recordable incidents on OSHA logs. And remember, as of April 1st, 2021, there are currently 17 states and Puerto Rico which have actually passed legislation placing the burden of proof onto the employer to prove that a COVID-related incident did not happen at their workplace. Now, I actually made a whole video on this, so if you want to see more and a little bit more in depth about that, click the link right up there. It'll also be down in the notes if you want to click that way as well. But so while some businesses are actually jumping on the mandate bandwagon, other businesses are actually pretty cautious about the potential side effects of the vaccine. And also, some employers and employees are actually concerned about the FDA approval only approving it for emergency use and not a broad sweeping approval like is most vaccines. So, whether you're for the vaccine or, for the mandate or against it, I think businesses really need to take a holistic view and approach when they're looking at this. I mean, both from an organizational standpoint, but also from the standpoint of the employees. There may be some great support with your organization, and there may be some hesitancy, and the business may actually grow because of you publicly mandating it, or it may shrink, or it may actually have increased overhead with workers' comp claims and those different types of legislation that's going to have fines from OSHA and everything else. So they really have to look at it from a big picture scope. What's the cost benefit? What's the pros and cons? And as always, whatever your decision is, be awesome. Best wishes. Take care.